All right, everybody, back here with Dan from Lippert. Now we're going to talk all things electric leveling system.
Sounds right.
So just to get things started, what's the first thing for a new camper that they have their shakedown, they're ready to use the leveling system, just kind of from the beginning, what do they want to know? Right.
Absolutely. So first off, I want to identify which leveling system we have.
Okay.
So like you mentioned, we're talking about electric leveling. So if you're not 100% sure, key idea or key indicator would be these front landing legs.
Okay.
Now on your ground control 3, that's our electrical leveling system for fifth wheels. On the ground control 3 system, they have a pole pin out front here.
Okay.
So that's a key sign that, hey, I got electric leveling system, and they may have 4 or 6 leveling jacks. Now, the rear jacks for the ground control 3, they won't have this square body like this, they'll have a round body.
Okay.
Right? So just key indicator, they also have the ground control 3 sticker on it. So now that we know what we have, what's the best way for proper operation?
Okay.
So like we've said in a few of the other videos, we've got our batteries hooked up, we got our batteries maintained, and we're hooked up to shore power. So with those two things, now we're able to go ahead and operate.
Okay.
And like we said before, can it operate off the electric battery or the batteries themselves? Absolutely. But we've got slide outs, we've got awnings, we've got X, Y, Z on this coach. So we want to make sure we're properly maintaining those batteries.
Okay.
First thing for operation we're going to do, before we even get to this touchpad and monkey with it at all, we want to pull this pole pin out so it's 4 to 5 inches, so that this foot pad is 4 to 5 inches from the ground.
Okay.
And when we do that, pull the pole pin out, drop that foot pad so it's 4 to 5 inches from the ground on both sides, and then we're going to turn that touchpad on. We got
Okay.
the up and down arrows right here. We're going to press and release, and the green light comes on. Solid green light lets us know we're good to go ahead and do some stuff.
Okay.
Once we got that 4 to 5 inches down to the ground, then we're going to turn the touchpad on, and we're going to go ahead and extend the front jacks so that they hit the ground, so that they make contact with the ground. Then we'll pull that tow vehicle out of the way. The reason why we want to give 4 to 5 inches of this pole pin out is so that we ensure that we have enough stroke in that jack so we don't run into possibly an out of stroke error.
Okay.
Or another error that they might run into would be an auto level fail error.
Okay.
So if we're not dropping this pole pin and dropping that foot pad 4 to 5 inches from the ground on both sides, that's when we can start to incur or see some of those error codes that maybe some of the customers have seen in the past.
All right, so when it comes to operating the auto level system then, just some basic FYIs that they're going to want to know relative to this touchscreen.
Absolutely. So we encourage them to operate the system on the outside of the coach here, just
Okay.
the way the controls, they have a front leveling control and a rear sensor.
Okay.
And if you're inside the coach, walking around, those aren't going to be able to stabilize properly
Okay.
to get an accurate level. So easy enough, they come up here and hit the auto level button.
Okay.
You can see that we've got that green LED light lit up right now. Once we start in the auto sequence, that's going to start flashing green to indicate, hey, I'm doing something.
Okay.
And then if it turns red, whether it's solid red or flashing red, it's either going to be a low voltage or some other form of active error code. Now, to read the active error codes, we have to go in the inside of the coach to determine, hey, what happened during that sequence. If there is some sort of auto level issue where we get an out of stroke error, determine what caused that. If we're able to, correct it, and then restart that leveling sequence.
So to be clear, if they have the auto leveling system, if they get an error, they'll be able to see that on the touch screen on the inside of the coach.
Correct. They'll all read out. It'll tell you out of stroke or whatever the specific issue is,
Okay.
and then they can go from there.
Okay.
Another thing they'll want to watch out for after they're done camping, ready to go, they do have this hitch height. Now what that's going to do is that's going to take the nose of the coach back exactly where they started the auto level process.
Okay.
So they back into their spot, pull into the spot, whatever it may be. They drop the jacks down on the ground, pull the tow vehicle out of the way, they hit the auto level button.
Got it.
The hitch height button will work as long as they didn't do two things. They don't want to start the leveling sequence with the nose pointed down towards the ground, and they don't want to manually move anything at any point. Otherwise, they'll get the feature disabled code on the touchpad on the inside of the coach, just like we were talking about.
Okay.
But that's just a quick way, instead of them having to retract the rear jacks and manually move the front back to the starting position, they hit that hitch height button, and as long as they didn't start with the nose below level and they didn't manually move anything, it's going to take this nose exactly right back where they started. They can back up the tow vehicle,
And they'll be
retract
set
the front. Yep, be set, and they're a little bit faster than maybe the old way they were used to before they had that hitch height button.